Agent attraction in real estate is one of the best opportunities that you can have in order to supplement your income and build residual wealth. We just brought on a $300 million real estate team here to LPT. We've been getting a lot of questions about how we did it and how you go about the agent attraction process. So in today's video, we've got our big man here who's grown some amazing organizations. We've got AJ and myself, and we're going through exactly how you attract agents. We're excited to take you guys through it. My name is Mark Ammons.
My name's AJ Ackerman.
And I'm Damian Calais.
And we are Elevated Agents.
Wow, today I'm super excited to talk about agent attraction. I'm even more excited to have my main man, Damian Calais, here today. Damian and I met, I think, just a year or two ago. It hasn't been very long, and we connected right away, but it was actually kind of funny because I was at a previous brokerage, and I remember getting the text, and the text said, "Hey, man, are you open to a real estate opportunity?" And I was like, man, oh, actually, I said something a little different than that in my mind. But because I have a lot of respect for Damian and I'm open-minded, right? Entrepreneurship, open-minded, I took the call. And what's really amazing is I decided to join LPT within 48 hours, I think. And I think Damian was more surprised than I was.
Way more.
But one of the really cool things is that Damian's one of the fastest growing organizations in LPT Realty. He was a big help with us bringing on the new team in Reno, Nevada, the Chris Nevada team. And so we have him here today. We're actually here celebrating the big launch, but he's also built other organizations with 17,000 plus people. So we're excited to have him here today. And to kind of start things off, I want to help direct you. I want to make sure you understand that today we're going to be talking about the path to success. That's right, the path to succeeding in agent attraction, because it's one of those things that we want to kind of use as a supplement. Some of you are really excited about it. And listen, for those of you that are not excited, we got plenty of other videos to help you sell real estate first. So today's really focused again on the agent attraction, but we want to focus on this: clarity, growth, and success. That's right. Everything starts with clarity, the vision, the mindset. What do you need to know in your mind and your thoughts in order to help you start taking these steps? The second one is growth. And growth is just the perfect question to say is, who do you need to become, right? Who do you need to become to be a successful real estate agent? Who do you need to become to be successful at agent attraction? And the third is success. And you're never going to have success without taking action. So by the end of this video, we're going to give you some specific strategies and success tips from somebody who's also very, very successful right now to help you on your way. So again, we're super excited. Damian, thank you for being here. Would love for you to kind of start with us talking a little bit about the vision and the mindset of somebody who wants to start doing agent attraction.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me here.
Yeah, brother.
Appreciate you.
Love it.
Loving being in partnership with these guys right here. What they're doing is just truly amazing. I think the first thing that I wanted to chat about was, of course, I don't personally like the word recruit, although that is what is happening, is the recruitment process here. I prefer the word attraction, but for the sake of this conversation, I wanted to just talk about recruiting. The first person you must recruit is yourself. You'll never attract anyone ever to partner with you in anything unless you first fully recruited yourself. Well, what do I mean when I say recruit yourself? That means, are you fully bought in to what it is you're sharing with other people? Because if not, it's really a pitch. If you don't believe that what you have can impact someone else's life in a positive manner, see, the way that I do things is I get people to opt in or opt out for what I want to share with them. I don't even tell them what I want to share with them prior to. I don't give them any details. I want to find out, is that person open-minded? But in order to do that, you have to first have belief that is so high, that is so radiant in the energy transfer that you have, that people just believe that what you say you're going to do, you're going to do. They may not believe that it's true for them, but they may believe that you're going to do what it is that you say you're going to do. So at the very beginning, it's all about belief. It's belief in yourself, belief in the company, belief in the opportunity, belief in your ability to help others do what you're doing. So first question is, have you fully recruited yourself?
Yeah, and I wanted real quick, Mark and I are both like, real quick, I love one of the things that you do with folks. So one of the key factors in success is finding a group of people to have that mentor, right? To have a coach, whatever it is, the person there that is going to believe in you. Sometimes you talk about borrowing the belief,
sure,
right? I forget your line, but yeah, I love that line, sure, because if you're kind of like, well, I'm not really sure and I'm questioning, well, what's it going to take for you to believe? What's it going to take for you to be all in? And do you have people that you're surrounded by that you can use their belief in you, right? Because sometimes we just need somebody to believe in us. That's a huge part of this. So I don't know. I know you wanted to add
Yeah,
something.
I mean, and so, Damien, what would you say in terms of like how? So it's one thing to have the belief, but you've got to then convey that. You've got to convey that you have that belief to the other person. So in terms of like energy, body language, things like that, like how would you go about when you're interacting with someone, kind of showing them the belief that you have and what it is that you're talking about? Like, what are the important things that you're trying to project when you're, given that opportunity?
Well, number one, I'm never going to share an opportunity I'm not excited about.
Right.
And I think that, especially in, let's say, the MLM world, a lot of people are doing it just for money. Personally, everything that I do is all about impact. So I really believe that what I have is going to impact someone else's life in a positive manner. I believe that what we have here at LPT solves lots of problems. So I don't have to wake up and get myself in that mode to go share this with people, because I wake up inspired to go share it with people. And it's the difference between being motivated and inspired, is that motivation, you got to kind of, and then, don't get me wrong, at some point in my life, motivation was required. I had to motivate myself to become inspired. So I just wake up in the morning knowing that the opportunity we have here, and knowing what some people and some other companies that were a similar model than ours have accomplished being there so early. That's what wakes me up, is knowing that every single day that clock is ticking, and the timing that we have is slowly but surely slipping away. Because timing is everything and everything. And yes, we do have that on our side right now. That's why I take massive action right here, right now. And that's why I believe that if my friend who offered this to me hadn't told this to me about LPT, and I found out about it 3 years later, I would think that person was a pretty crappy friend. So, I wake up obligated to share this with others. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I love that you said obligated, because AJ and I have talked about that in the past, where I think the cool thing when you truly believe in what it is that you are, the opportunity that you're presenting, because again, we're presenting an opportunity to someone. We don't need anyone, right? And that's something that we've talked about, is that we don't need anyone to join us. But we have found this amazing opportunity, and as Damien said, at that point in time when you find that, if you truly believe that the opportunity that you have is the best opportunity that someone could take advantage of for the right people, it's sort of your obligation and your duty to present that to them. Sure. And that's really kind of what attraction is, right? I mean, it's you're really presenting the opportunity way more than trying to recruit. Because I think, particularly with this opportunity, it seems like once people see it, it's really hard to unsee. And so we're not trying to sell anything. We're not trying to pitch anybody. It's really kind of explaining that. So how do you go about showing people how big the opportunity is, or what kind of impact the opportunity could have on them, and the impact it could have on their life?
Real quick, I want to just touch on something, because you just made a contrast between pitching and, let's say, attracting, right?
Yeah.
Pitching, when you pitch someone something, you have a self-seeking motive, and you want to get that person in your organization because you will have financial benefit from them.
Manipulation.
Yeah, so the energy transfer there is a sleazy energy transfer. Yeah. It doesn't feel good for the person who's trying to recruit or trying to pitch, and it doesn't feel good for the other person either. So that's why it's so important that in order to attract at a very high level, there is a skill set involved here. There is certain words that I use that I'll teach, and we'll go through here in a minute, that will position you as someone that cares about that other person and gives them the opportunity to say, yes, I want information, and then we go into the opportunity. But can you repeat that question?
Yeah,
I wanted to make that different. I wanted to make sure that, because no one wants to be pitched. I mean, we've all been pitched stuff before, and it feels, nobody likes the way it feels.
Right.
But I think it's different when you offer an opportunity. So I think the first mindset shift that I have to help people as I'm traveling market to market, city to city, state to state, one of the things I've noticed amongst some of the agents is that they all think, and the reason why they're not making the phone calls that they should be making with the opportunity that we have here right now, is because they don't want to feel like they're chasing their friends. They don't want to feel like they're getting people. They don't want to feel like they're pitching people, because of that energy. It's just not a fun energy for either person. So that's one of the main things that I've observed being in the field, is that we have to first shift that mindset amongst the people that we bring in to help them understand that they're offering an opportunity. And successful people, let's talk about the most successful people. they offer opportunity to their friends regularly. For example, I spoke at an event recently with a guy whose companies that are valued at $95 billion, and they're taking another company public right now. The initial buy-in for this opportunity is $100K. Am I going to do it? I may or may not. I don't know. But the fact that I was called for that opportunity, saying, hey, we are doing our first round of investing here, our first round of a capital raise, and we thought about you.
Yeah,
I felt pretty doggone good about that because my friends thought highly enough. But when the successful people are the ones that understand opportunity. So I hope I didn't get too far off topic.
No,
right there,
you're good. Because I think you're kind of getting into the growth piece, but to kind of end a little bit on the clarity piece here in the vision, we've clearly talked about attraction and the difference between manipulation and influence. When you decide that you want to attract agents because you want to help people, right? Manipulation is for your benefit. Influencing people is for their benefit. And so when you're asking questions like, hey, what's your biggest challenge right now in your business? What is it that you're looking for? What kind of value do you need? Where do you want to take your business? One of my favorite questions for real estate is, how is the brokerage helping you grow your business? Because you're an entrepreneur, right? And the beautiful thing about these new models that are exploding is that they want to help you grow a business. And so when you start thinking about attraction, one, be yourself, be your authentic self, be your excited self. One thing that Mark and I are really focused on is that we don't want everybody. We know that we're not going to attract everybody, but what we do know is we're going to attract people that like us. Some of you are going to like me, some of you are going to like Mark, some of you aren't going to like us all, and you've already unfollowed us. And that's fine. We're cool with that. Why? Because we want to work with people that like us and that we like them. So when you're thinking about talking to people about attraction, really think about how can you help them for their benefit, because it is a different energy, it's a different mindset, and you're actually going to get more engagement. Plus, it feels good, right? You want to sleep well at night. Also, the other thing is I think people forget is there's short-term success and long-term success. Manipulation, you can get short-term success with manipulation. Maybe you can get some long, but when you're influencing people and helping people and you're building a culture and you're growing, and that's one of the things I love most. We're literally the first ones to shoot in this brand new studio, and we're 3 time zones away, and we're right now collaborating with people on the other coast, and it's just a beautiful, cool thing to watch and see these cultures. So I wanted to make sure that we understand the difference of that as we start going into the who do you need to become aspect of this.
Right. Yeah, and part of that is you are going to attract what you put out, right? Yep. The energy that you put out there.
Your vibe's going to attract your tribe.
Yeah, for sure. And so it's very important to know that, because if you're, there's a lot of different people function at different frequencies, right? If you're functioning at very low frequency, what you're going to attract back is that same very low frequency.
Lower or below
Eeyores. Tiggers and Eeyores.
That's right. Tigger's got the Tiggers and Eeyores, right? You've got energy givers and energy drainers, and we like to surround ourselves completely with energy givers. And so if you're that kind of person that gives the energy, you're going to get that same energy back. So if you do try to attract and you're unhappy with the people that you're attracting, it's not so much a reflection upon the people that you're attracting as it is probably a reflection upon yourself. So take a look at the energy that you have, the energy that you're putting out, the excitement level that you have. If you're not excited about what it is that the opportunity, you're not going to get someone else excited. It's very, very difficult to get someone else more excited about the thing that you know more about than them than you are.
And that's why it's important that maybe those people need to just go focus on selling real estate.
Yeah.
And build your belief in yourself and your ability to do the task at hand, the job. Because in order for you to attract, part of it is actually being congruent with what the job is. And that's what do we do? What's the first things first?
Selling real estate.
Selling real estate.
Yeah. So Damian, in your experience, there's a lot of different ways that you can go about attraction. And, AJ and I have kind of taken a different path than you. You've been highly successful in what you've done.
This is a path that I need to take.
Yeah. And so we've got, and that's the cool thing too, is there's a lot of different paths. You don't just have to do one. AJ and I have focused really primarily on video attraction, because we firmly believe that once someone sees this model, they can't unsee it. So our job, we feel, is to explain the model to people in a clear enough way that they see the model for what it is, and most people who see it go, that makes sense, that checks out, I'm on board. So that's our path, and that's one way to reach people. There's a lot of other ways that you can reach people that maybe aren't on the kind of platforms that AJ and I put stuff on. So what are some other ways for someone who maybe doesn't want to get on video, doesn't want to go that route? What can they do to go about attracting?
I think the easiest way to go about this is find out, is really go look at your deals that you've done over the past couple of years. Out of those agents on the other side of the transaction, which are the ones that you would most like to partner with in business? Because here we do get to choose who we're partnered with or not. We get to choose who we offer the opportunity or not. You know, there may be that agent also that took 4% and gave you 2%. And at that, you know, let's just be real. Do you want that person in your business? No, you don't. Probably not. So I would say start with what I call your warm market. Your warm market is people that are in your peer group, people that you've done business with, and people that you have some type of a rapport with, and offer them the opportunity to say yes or no, that this is for me or not. So I always start there. Of course, there's different ways to do this, from cold market, social media. There's a lot of different ways that I go about it, but I always recommend for someone just getting started out, start with the people who you've most recently done deals with that you actually work together like a team with.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's, when we talk about how you two got connected, I mean, that was really it, was you two knew each other from, some previous organizations, sure. Had a lot of mutual respect for each other. You had enough mutual respect for AJ to extend the opportunity to him. He had enough mutual respect and was open-minded enough to want to learn more about that opportunity. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when you reached out to him, you didn't reach out to him telling him what the opportunity was. You asked him if he was open-minded to a new opportunity, right? That was the first question.
Real estate, yeah. So, I always like to ask a few questions first because, there's really three components. Do you want me to actually go into the beginning of my invite now?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Okay, so there's really three components.
If you get a pen and paper out, like what Damien's getting ready to tell you is absolute gold and will change your life and your business if you listen to what he's getting ready to say.
Yeah, so one of the first things that I want you guys to do, a little exercise here, fun exercise here. I want you to pick up the phone and call someone that you know and say, hey, I just found out, and hang up the phone. See how quickly that person does what? Calls you back. Like, it's probably like a second or two, and your phone will be ringing, but try this out, and you'll understand why the importance of what I'm getting ready to teach you is. So one of the most powerful words in marketing is I just found out. How do I know this? My buddy built a $1 billion company in the direct sales industry. Actually, it was the fastest growing company in the history of the direct sales industry to ever reach $1 billion without a global expansion. Part of his marketing message was, I just found out. So this is not something that I've just come up with. This is something that has been proven to work. I was actually in that direct selling company. But so the first part is I just found out. The second part is I thought about you. The third part is going to be, are you open to are you open-minded to new opportunity in real estate in 2023? So I'll go through it now from beginning to end, how that might look. Let's say, like, for example, right now we're in Nevada. We're just bringing on a brand new team here in Nevada. If I was on that Nevada team right now, the way I'd be approaching people is something like this. Let's say I was calling up Mark, right? We'd say, hey, Mark, how's it going? This is Damien. I know we haven't spoken in a while, man, but just found out about a new opportunity in real estate. Our team's actually going to be launching the market here. And at that point, you want to add a little bit of the story, okay? Our team's launching the new market here in Nevada right now for the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the United States. That's not a statement of my opinion. That is a matter of statistical fact. I always like to throw that in too. And I thought about you. I pause.
Oh, you thought about me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
And guess what my tail feathers just did, right? There's a new opportunity this guy thought about. Right. I feel pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, if you are a person who is, listen, if anybody's not open-minded to new opportunity, they're not the people we're looking for. Yeah. And listen, it's okay. Sometimes it's just timing. Timing's everything. It might not be their timing right then and there. And remember, no's not no now. It's no. It's not no forever. It's just no right now. You can follow up with that person. I'll show you all how to do that here in a few minutes. But so it's always I just found out. Share a little bit of the story. I don't mention the company's name ever. Okay. The next thing, I just found out. I thought about you. And then, are you open-minded to new opportunity in real estate in 2023? This is a simple opt-in or opt-out moment. They have the opportunity right now to opt in. If they opt in, I will then go into more detail. If they don't opt in, I will not go into more detail. Okay? At this point, it's up to them to say, yes, I'm open-minded. And if they answer the question no, they're basically telling me they're closed-minded. So many people do not like to say I'm closed-minded. So there's a little psychological play on words here. But at the same time, it's bringing us to a point where they are giving us permission. It's a permission-based invite where, yes, Damien, I want more information about what you have to offer.
Yeah, 100%. And so again,
and obviously it's worked because that's how AJ's here.
Yeah.
And that's how, I mean, just about everybody that I've brought into the business, I asked that exact question.
I got the same phone call. I got a phone call from AJ. You know, we were both at EXP, right? And I was planning out a video that I was going to shoot for my real estate sales YouTube channel. I got a phone call from AJ. He said, "Hey, would you be open-minded to leaving EXP if the opportunity was big enough?" My immediate answer is yes, right? So again, I opted in. He didn't tell me anything about what the company was, what they were doing. Simply, are you open-minded? And like Damien said, if someone's like, no, awesome. They saved you a lot of time, right? So thank them for their time. Great, appreciate that. I wish you the best. Hey, if anything ever changes, reach out to me. But that's the first thing is like we want to be dealing with open-minded people.
Sure.
Because again, you're trying to attract like-minded people. We're all open-minded people, so you want to attract that similar like mind. So
Let's
at that point in time,
let's take the other side of the scenario.
Yeah.
If they say no.
Yeah.
If that person says no, I'm not open-minded, then I'm going to thank them for their time right then and there. Hey, you know what, Mark, appreciate you taking the call, buddy. Obviously, I thought highly enough to call you, and I appreciate you taking the call. I'm now getting off the phone first. I will never allow Mark to get off the phone first. I'm getting off the phone first. He said no, I'm off the phone quick. Chances are Mark's going to say, well, what did you call me for? Well, Mark, you just said you weren't open-minded. Are you sure you're not open-minded? So then I'll go back and re-ask the same question again. About 50% of the time, you'll get them to flop their answer to yes because of FOMO. What is FOMO, AJ?
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. Remember, I just found out, and I hang up, how quickly they're going to call you back. Very quick. So just wanted to touch base on that. If they say no, there is a chance for you to go back in and switch that no, that objection that they've given you from no to yes because of that.
Well, and here's the thing is, so how many... And not just you, but let's just talk about all the people that we know currently at LPT, because we're hearing a lot of stories right now. You have close friends. We're talking about your warm market here. We're talking about people that you know, like, and trust, and know, like, and trust you, because you've gotten them on the phone. And you talked about, no just means not now, right? They could be a yes at some point. So now what has happened is that you have now touched them, right? Timing is everything. And it might not be the right timing for them now, but it may be the right timing later. And so when we start talking about taking action steps, we want to talk about consistency. Now they've heard of LPT Realty or whatever other company you're trying to attract for, because this goes for any company you're attracting. Now they know, right? If you've been in real estate for any longer, you've had any sort of success, you realize that how many deals are you going to get on the first call? Very little, very extremely small. The most successful agents are going to touch somebody 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before you get the deal. It's the same thing. Now they've heard, they have interest, and so the more that they see the name, because I can guarantee you LPT will be all over the United States, and it will be one of the largest companies, if not the largest most likely. You're going to see the name again, and they're going to remember that you were the one that introduced them, you were the one that talked to them, and you still are friends with them, right? You still have a relationship. So remember that, this is a journey, right? Don't get upset. And I love the whole concept of we're not in the convincing business, right? We're in the sharing business. We talked about we want to share. We have the obligation to share an amazing opportunity if that's what we believe, right? That is our duty as a person, as a friend. And if you believe it in that much and you realize it and you truly believe you're helping them. So remember, this is a process. This is timing. Some people... was I the first or second phone call you made?
Second.
I was the second phone call that Damien made. I'm about to be the largest organization in your organization,
yeah.
Right? It's crazy, how this all happened. But remember, there are some people that how many people have you talked to multiple times before they said yes? A lot, right? So stay patient, stay consistent, and keep your belief up. Don't get stuck in. I love that you talked about getting off the phone early, right? Because again, a lot of people are going to try to talk people into it. But wait, no, you really need to hear about this. You really need to find out. They're not
that's
interested.
the difference between an amateur and a professional too. What I'm teaching you guys right now was taught to me by one of the best that you'll ever meet, ever. Okay, when it comes to inviting. In the art of attraction, there's a few skills that you must learn. Number one is the art of the invitation. Number two is going to be how to take them through a process that leads them to a natural and logical conclusion that this opportunity is for them or not. which is really the art. Okay, so yeah, the invitation may not. It's really not the hardest part. The hardest part is moving them through a process to where you're not chasing behind people going, hey, did you look at my link? Hey, did you hop on the Zoom? Hey, did you do this? Did you do that? There's no power in that whatsoever. You're literally chasing people now. Now, what does that show them when you chase them? That you need them. Yeah. That you're going to benefit in some way from them saying yes or no. Then it becomes that sleazy feeling again. That feeling no one likes. We've all been there. We've all experienced it before. So what I'm teaching you today is how to do this like a professional would. Okay, so the next thing, actually, is it okay if I go?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask. So when someone is open-minded and they say yes, what's the next step, and what kind of commitment? Because we all believe that the time that we have is the absolute most valuable resource that we own, is our time. And so you want to make sure that you're using your time effectively as well. So someone, when they are open-minded and they say, yeah, Damian, like, what's the opportunity? What kind of commitment are you looking for from them? Not commitment to partner,
sure,
but what's the next step that they need to commit to? You're talking about the process. What is that next step in the process that you need commitment? That's, if we can't get from A to B, this thing, then again, we probably just need to pull this thing back.
Sure. Now, real quick, before I do that, one thing I want to remind everybody is we did two of them, the yes. We turn the no back into a yes, and then there's also the hard no. If it's the hard no, I'm always telling those people this: hey, listen, I understand it's no right now, but obviously you and I are very close friends. We have mutual respect for each other. Is it okay that I keep in touch with you over the next 3, 6, 9 months to kind of check in and just let you know how my business is doing? If anyone ever says no to that, you need to defriend that person.
Delete them from your phone.
Literally take them out of your phone. No, you can't check in with me and share your success with me. I'd be like, okay, thank you for reading yourself out. So going back to what he's saying now, I want you guys to write this down real quick. Write down, if I blank, draw a blank there, would you blank? If I blank, would you blank? Now you could put anything into either of these blanks and this will work. For example, if I invited you to an invitation-only overview that would go over exactly what has taken us to being the fastest-growing brokerage in the United States in great detail, would you be able to carve out 30 minutes of your time on Tuesday at 2 p.m.? If I invited you to an event next Wednesday at noon and I bought you lunch, would you be able to carve out some time to come meet me in person? If I whatever, would you whatever? If I sent you a link, would you watch it today? And this works for anything, okay? What the goal now is to get a firm commitment and set an appointment. What the amateur will do is just say, here, go check your inbox, I sent you a link. And then that's it. Then it's open-ended. Then there's no next step. So you always must be building to that next step. And I want you to visualize a ladder real quick. So think of a ladder, okay? Ladder has rungs on the ladder, right? So our job is the initial exposure of me telling them, hey, I just found out, I thought about you, are you open-minded, is the first rung on the ladder, okay? The second rung on the ladder that I personally use, and there's no right or wrong way to do this, but our goal is to get them to 5 to 7 touches. 5 to 7 touches of information to where we've continuously built and invited them to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, to finally all their questions are answered, and now they can come to a logical conclusion that, yes, this is a great opportunity for me, or no, hey, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. But the way I do it is this. If I sent you a link, which is lpt.com, or we have our own recruiting websites here, which is exactly what lpt.com is, which is branded to you. If I sent you a link, now this is important because for duplication aspects, you'll never build a massive organization if you're doing all the talking. Let me just explain this to you. I use a tool. I am not a tool. You got that? So use a tool, don't be a tool. What is a tool? A tool is the website. A tool is a Zoom. A tool is a rally. A tool is anything that's doing the talking about the opportunity and not you.
LPT Explained on our YouTube channel on Elevated Agents. That's a tool.
That's actually the best tool, to be quite honest with you guys. Use that one. So if I sent you this link, which went over all the details about LPT, would you be able to look at it today? Yeah, Damien, I'll look at it today. Okay, great. So if I called you back this afternoon at 7 o'clock, you'll have looked at it by then, right? I'm making sure that they know that I'm calling them tonight at 8 o'clock, okay? I'm making sure that it's an expectation of mine that they look at this website. Let's say they say, no, I can't look at it today. Oh, great, when can you look at it? I can look at it by Christmas of this year. Okay, great. I'll call you on December 26th at noon. How's that? Perfect. Doesn't matter if it's a year from now. I will just set the appointment. And that's a joke, by the way. We don't want to do it that far out. So that's the key, is setting the appointment. Don't leave it open-ended, and then continue, again, for the next one. Let's say you following up. You following up. We just sent them the link. Never ask, what did you think? Yeah. Ever. Yep. What did you like most about what you just saw, read, whatever it is they saw, and then whatever they tell you at that point in time is their hot button. Yeah. And that is something you really need to pay attention to, because that is what is most important to them.
Oh my gosh, you saw the video? What was the thing you liked most? What got you the most excited? Yeah. I know what got me most excited, but I would love to hear what got you the most excited.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is understanding that, like, everyone who joins an organization is going to do it for a different reason, right? Like, and understanding that what we have is not a one-size-fits-all solution, particularly at LPT. My goodness, like, and that's the value, and that's why people can't unsee this model, is because there's so many different things that we offer that might really be important to some person and might not to the other, right? Agent attraction is one of those things that, for a number of people who have joined our organization, they have no interest in it. It's not something that they want to do, at least not yet. Now, that can be for a few different reasons. The one reason it could be is they don't fully understand the impact that it can have. And personally, I think that's one of the biggest reasons that people are not more interested in agent attraction, is they simply do not understand how, particularly right now in an organization like this, just how big the opportunity is. And likely this is because they've maybe been at an organization that had a similar type model. They tried, it didn't work. It was oversaturated. There was too many people doing it. They didn't have enough belief. There's a number of reasons it may not have worked for them, and so they kind of wrote it off. Well, this is a different opportunity. So that's one of the reasons, but I think you have to understand that different people are going to be excited about different things, and that's why it's very important to figure out what that is. What did you like the most? Because for some person, maybe, hey, you got a $500 per file flat fee, $5,000 cap, and I go to 100% commission. I do 10 deals and I'm done. That's my thing, right? Other people, it's like, you're the fastest growing real estate brokerage ever in history, statistically speaking. That is a fact, and I can attract agents and build long-term residual revenue with a massive organization that can help me, sustain my business and actually have an exit strategy from real estate. Awesome, that's my thing, right? So is it the listing power tools that's going to help me, sell my homes, faster for more money and get more deals? Maybe that's their thing. So it's different for everyone, and understanding that. And that's why it's so important to dig in, because once you find out what's important to them, then you can go ahead and start going down that road. Because if you just assume that everyone who reaches out to you is like, oh, you want to attract agents, or oh, you want to be a flat fee person, you need to listen to them, right? You got one mouth and two ears. Spend more time listening, figuring out what it is that's important to them, and then you're now in a position to truly help them. Because what you're also likely to find is maybe something that they were excited about, they still don't fully understand. There's probably more details that you now then need to go share or clarify or correct a misunderstanding. So I think that's extremely important.
He said something very important, and I want to ask you guys a question. How many realtors actually have an exit strategy? How many? Go ask them. Have you ever been to a realtor's retirement party before? That's why it's important, in my opinion, for people to have revenue share. Yeah. Because there's an exit strategy. There's some type of a strategy to where they have freedom. I'm telling you, I don't know of a single agent. Did you? You? Mm-hmm. So, anyway, just a little food for thought.
So now, Damien, I got a question for you. So not everyone is going to be comfortable initially picking up the phone and calling, but what are some things that maybe they could do to leverage the organization that they join, to leverage the people that they have chosen to surround themselves with in an organization to not necessarily do that long term, but to at least kind of show them the road, show them how to do it? Is there something that someone could do, or maybe someone else is making phone calls, or how would they go about that if they're just not comfortable yet? They kind of need to see it done. How can you leverage the success of the people around you in order to get started with this?
Well, I believe one of the strategies any leader should have when bringing new people on, whether they want to attract or not, is taproot their network. Because someone inside of their network, they know a stud. Everybody knows a stud, right? And so it's like, who can they introduce me to? So one of the things that I do is I always get them to come up with their top 10 or 15 or 20, I call chicken list. So who are the people you're too chicken to call? Who are the people? And usually it's someone that has more influence, someone that's had way more success than you have had. And there's a way to approach them. I could teach that person how to approach them in a very complimentary way that wouldn't feel so bad. Yeah. But what I personally do is I get them to come up with a list, and I offer to do it for them. I like to do things for people, with people, then pass it on to them and let them go do it on their own. Because what am I doing? I'm showing them that whatever fear they have is false expectations appearing real, which is the acronym for fear. It's usually a story they've created in their mind that isn't even real about what's going to happen and what the outcome of that call is going to be. So let's say I was calling AJ on behalf of Mark. Mark's too timid to make phone calls right now for whatever. He's really not, trust me. As you guys can see, he's a podcaster. So anyway, long story short, I call up AJ. Hey, AJ, how's it going? My name's Damian Calais. No, we don't know each other, but we have a mutual friend in Mark Amons. And as a matter of fact, Mark's sitting right here with me. Now, Mark might be sitting next to me, but he might also be on Zoom. If I'm in a different state, I don't want to put off making calls because I'm not with Mark. I could just pop open Zoom, put it on speakerphone, and there's Mark right there. And what I want Mark to do at that point is go, hey, AJ.
Hey, AJ.
Hey, man. What's going on?
Well, what happens at that point? AJ's guard now goes completely down. Like, who's this stranger calling me, right? Like, who's this guy, Damien? And all of a sudden I say, well, we have a mutual friend in Mark, and he's sitting right here with me, and they probably have a good connection. Yeah. So as soon as he says that, he hears the voice, then I want Mark to say nothing else. Chances are he's going to say something else because we're now going to compliment them, but really just don't interrupt the conversation, the flow of the conversation. He'll know when it's his cue to talk. And the next thing that I'm going to do is let him know that, recently Mark and I partnered in a brand new business together in real estate, and I asked him to come up with a list of people that he knew in the market that had leadership potential, that were ambitious, and just straight up movers and shakers. And your name happened to be one of the people that he put on the list. Now you're telling them that Mark put your name on a list, and a list of people that had leadership potential, that were ambitious, that were just movers and shakers. He's probably now going to thank Mark for putting him on that list. I've seen this done tens of thousands of times. Okay, that's exactly what happens. Well, Mark, I really appreciate you saying that. And then Mark will say, of course, you know what I think about you, or whatever, something like that. They just have a little banter again. Then at that point in time, it's really over with. So then now I'm going to do the same invite I just taught you guys. Mark and I just recently partnered in a new real estate venture together, and we were just kind of curious to know, are you keeping your business options open in real estate in 2023?
Yeah. I'm always open to opportunities, if it makes sense.
Awesome.
So for you people out there who say, like, that sounds really good, but like I either need to see it done, or I just, there are some people that maybe you're just too chicken to call. Like that is part of the value of partnering with the right people who have the knowledge, who have the skill set, who have the ability to help you grow. And like Damien said, we want to do it for you and then with you, and then once you have that confidence and that skill set and ability yourself, then we're going to pass it to you. And then the awesome thing, and what we're trying to do is, and Damien, you can talk about the power of duplication and why that's so important, because then now you are, and it's important that you've got that leadership potential, because now those people that you are helping bring into this opportunity, they see the value, it's going to work for them, and you get some people that see the value in that revenue share, they want to do it, maybe they're in the same position as you, they're a little bit too timid off the bat to do it. You now have the confidence and you have the ability to become that leader who can make those calls. Hey, we've got a mutual friend and so and go from there. So it's important to surround yourself with the right people. These are the people that I surround myself with, and so that's I think one of the really important things is understanding that you don't have to go alone, and that you do have options initially to kind of get your feet wet in this, right?
Yeah, I think it's important that we create a leadership structure and a leadership hierarchy And that doesn't mean that I'm the leader for everyone. It means I'm creating leaders. I'm helping people step into their leadership because I don't want to be the leader of AJ's group that he has a relationship with, or Mark's group. You know, they need to be the leader for their group. But what we're now doing is now teaching a method of duplication that when the agent comes in and they're in their first week of sharing this with people, that they can do exactly what I just did. Because what will duplicate will grow exponentially if you duplicate it, okay? So one of the things that I want to point out about that is that the less you talk to more people, the best that it is. For example, we talked about letting a tool be in the tool. Let the tool do the talking. Why is that? Because the new person that comes in is not going to know all the ins and outs of LPT, and there's so many of them. Mm-hmm. You're not going to know that. If you wait until you learn all this stuff, it might be a year into it before you even learn it, and then we're still innovating. We're building, like Robert says, we're building the plane as we fly it.
It's changing so fast.
So everything's changing, and we're adding new things, and so you're never going to know everything. So don't get caught into the analysis paralysis and all these different things that are just going to prevent you from taking action, and start to utilize third-party validation. This is so critical. For example, let's say I was calling him on behalf of Mark, and then he says he's open-minded. I share with him a little bit of the story, and then he asks a question. You know, if I'm brand new, I'm not going to know the answer to that question. I'd say, you know what, AJ, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. You know, I'm really somewhat new. My partner, though, Damien, you know, he's one of the top leaders in the company. And, you know, he's been in now for about a year. He works directly with the CEO of the company. Let me hop you on the phone with Damien real quick. As a matter of fact, it's going to help me out. You know, I always like that person to say, play the new guy and say, look, by you getting on the call with him, not only are you going to get your questions asked, but you're going to help me. And really and truthfully, it is as much for the agent as it is for the prospect. Because where I learned the most about this company was popping people on the phone with corporate offices or my sponsor or different people. And that's where I got to hear how they were talking about the company. So you're robbing yourself of a learning opportunity if you're not putting people on the phone with everybody else. What's not duplicatable is you sitting there answering everyone's questions. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's really not duplicatable. If you want to build an organization that's going to thrive and grow without you, it must be something that everyone can do. And I can put anyone on the phone with someone else who is the expert. Now, at that point in time, the edification is most important, because now I'm edifying my partner or whoever as the expert. So once I turn the call over, now between the two, and I've done the announcement, I've done the introduction, the number one thing that I should do is just be quiet, put my phone on mute. And I tell them that, hey guys, I'm just going to go ahead and put my phone on mute. I'm going to take notes while you guys chat. That's your learning experience right there.
Now, Damien, as somebody who's grown organizations of up to 17,000 people and gone and been on tens of thousands of these calls, you've no doubt seen a lot of mistakes, not just on the calls, but just people's general approach. Could you talk a little bit about kind of some of the biggest mistakes that you see people making that is preventing them from being successful, and what are the things to avoid? We've talked about, yeah. I hope by now you have a decent idea of kind of how this process works, right, in terms of what to do. But it's almost equally important to understand what not to do, right? Because that's what can trip you up. So could you talk a little bit about what things not to do, sure, the things to avoid?
Yeah, if you're not selling real estate, if you're not doing the deal, it's going to be hard for you. You have to be congruent with what it is you're approaching people with. So number one is be a product of the product. And our product here is selling real estate. So if you're not selling real estate, you're really selling yourself short. So I would say the number one thing is be congruent with the message. Be somebody who actually is someone who is doing the deal.
Can I add to that real
sure.
quick? Right. So one of the bits of advice that Mark and I give to agents that join, whether they're brand new or experienced, is to get plugged in. Right. You know, yes, you don't need to wait until you know everything, but it's still good to know everything. You know, and so during this process, right, confidence comes from what? Confidence comes from taking action. Sure. Right. It's from doing it, failing at it, learning how to do it different, making the mistakes. And so it's really important that you start plugging in, because LPT Realty does have its, agent choice. There's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of things to do. So when you get involved, it's important for you to go to the Motivational Monday calls. It's important for you to go to Real Estate First Fridays. It's important for you to check out our masterminds that we have twice a week. It's really important for you to plug in. the reason that I see the majority of people, the people that do leave LPT Realty, is because, listen, it happens. People come, people go. But typically the reason that they leave is because they don't plug in,
100%.
right? It's because they're just hanging out by themselves trying to figure out instead of plugging in. I'm not the end all be all. Damien's not the end all be all. Like, Mark's not. You have to still do the work. You still have to get up every day, look at your schedule and say, okay, what do I need to do? What are the things that I need to do to move my business forward? What do I need to learn today? What do I need to grow my real estate business? And who can I call today to share my excitement, right?
True.
Yeah.
You can go back to mistakes.
I think one of the other things that you definitely do not want to do is you do not want to just randomly make these calls. You want a time block. Okay, I think one of the things, especially when we got to sell real estate, which is a very complex job, there's a lot of moving parts to selling real estate, is I find that most people don't actually set the time aside on their calendar to focus specifically on attraction. I do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours. Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours, every Tuesday, every Thursday, like clockwork. I'm prospecting people, and I normally prospect about 50 people in that 2 hours. And what does that mean? It means I'm planting a seed with them that I'd like to hop on a call with them, or I'm doing something with them to engage in a conversation so that at some point, I can bring up LPT.
Cool. Any other mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mistakes people can make, but number one is just I guess, don't be the person that's pitching people. That's the biggest mistake I find.
Now, when you're making
we've already kind of talked.
When you're
about
making
that,
these phone calls, are you kind of
I see.
relaxed in the chair?
No.
Drinking a beer on the beach. What are you doing?
Funny.
Drinking a beer on the beach.
If you're Pete Lobo, who's the only guy I know that I had to make him sit down, 99.9999999% of the people in the world, yeah, stand up, because the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is take your temperature. Dogs do not bark at a parked car. What does that mean?
It's new to me.
I've never heard that. I'm excited. You get right this one down. I don't know.
Dogs don't bark. Have you ever seen a dog bark at a parked car?
We've got a live audience.
No,
today.
it's only moving. Only things that are moving,
Sure,
right?
I get it.
Okay, gotcha.
Do you? Man, we'll have to. All right. I can't believe I've never heard that before.
No, that's
okay.
good, though.
Tell us about it.
Anyway, so energy's everything. You can screw up all the words, everything about the script.
Yeah. As
a matter of fact, the first call that we made when I was with the Colorado team, he did screw up everything. I mean, he got nothing right. He knows who I'm talking about. He got nothing right, but his energy was spot on point.
Yeah.
And the other guy heard one key word that he said.
Triggered.
Yeah. I mean, he was like the next EXP. He was like, I've been waiting for that. This guy was a broker. Okay. And he's now on board with us now. But he literally screwed the entire script up. He didn't say nothing right that I told him. He did nothing right but get the energy part right. And guess what? The guy came to the event the next day. And he's now in our organization, and he was a broker in Colorado. So you could screw everything up, but get a couple things right. Get your energy right, so take your temperature. Always take your temperature before making these calls. What does that mean? Did you have a bad day? Do you have a crying kid in the background? I mean, do you have, was it just not the right time for you to make calls that day? If you're not in the right mindset to make these calls, don't make the calls, because you only got one shot at that call to get the right energy across. So always be standing up. Always be standing up when you're making these phone calls. And then last but not least, really, really, really study voice tones and the nonverbal communication. A lot of the things I think that people don't get right is they don't get all that right.
Yeah.
You can get all the words right, but screw up everything else, and they're not going to believe you because they don't believe that you're congruent with what it is you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think whether you're selling real estate, you're doing agent attraction, it doesn't matter. Or you're talking to your wife or your kids, right? You know what I mean? Like the way that you communicate is absolutely 100% something that you should be learning to strive, right? To give you an example, I mean, I originally built my business cold calling, so we're talking about being on the phone. One thing that I always told myself before I got started, and that's one of the things I do in every video is, can I smile from ear to ear? So if I answer the phone like this, like, hey, this is AJ Ackerman, I just wanted to share an opportunity with you. Are you open?
No,
you can hear whether or not. You can.
Or
you talk about people. You can hear what the person is looking like, what their energy is through the phone. You don't have to be face to face. You can feel. There's a transfer of energy over that phone, and you can feel that. And so, that, and AJ's the energy guy, so you're going to get that from him. And so that's why a lot of you guys like watching, right? You're getting energy from us, and you got to present that energy. That's why, again, tonality, pauses,
volume.
Right? Listen, volume, be excited, right? Like,
hey, Mark, this is AJ. I wanted to call, hey, man, what's going on? How you doing? Big difference.
Last but not least is don't do all the talking. Listen. Because the best attractors are the best listeners. When you're just puking all over people everything that you want them to know, you're putting up the biggest wall between you and your prospect. And what I mean by puking on people, LPT, cloud-based brokerage, 100%, 80-20, rev share, stock. Stop, please.
Oh my God, you've got to join. Like, are you crazy? Why wouldn't you?
Please stop that. Don't do that.
I think we're running out of time, guys. So we talked about clarity, growth, and success. We talked about mindset. We talked about faith, believing in yourself, believing in opportunity, and asking yourself the question, what's it going to take for you to believe and to go all in? We talked a little bit about growth of who do you need to become, right? And so you talked about the skills and the training that it's going to take. Well, you only learn by doing it, and you only learn by going to classes. Don't have paralysis from analysis. Don't wait to do things, right? I mean, do your best. What can you do today to do your absolute best? And who do you need to become? What are the top 3, 4, or 5 habits? Do you block? Like, can you do an hour a day? Can you do 30 minutes a day, right? What is it that you're willing to do to start building the habit? One of the things I committed to when we started Elevated Agents YouTube channel was to do 2 shorts a day. That was it. I was like, I'm going to commit to that for 6 months. And guess what? I did. And what happened was, if you go back and look at our shorts from the beginning to what our shorts look like now, there's a difference, right? There was an improvement. But it was only improved because I kept doing it and I built confidence. And then the action steps, the success. If you want to succeed, it's not going to happen overnight. This is going to take time. This is going to take effort. And we're talking about longevity. And we're talking about lifestyle here, you guys. Whether you're building your real estate business, you want to build agent attraction, you can do one, you can do both at LPT Realty, but just really sit down and think, we're doing this video, we're midway through the year. What are you going to commit to for the next 3 months? What are you willing to commit to for the next 90 days? Who are you going to partner with? Who are you going to rely on their belief to help you out? Really, really important to sit down and think about things at the end of this and tap in, reach out to us. Listen, we are all available. Literally, just, I don't know, whatever Mark's going to decide how to get a hold of us. He's going to say, click this link here, pop over here, say whatever you need. Like, reach out to us. Let us know. We're happy to set up a call with you. We're happy to talk to you. We're happy to be here to help you out. And it's been absolutely awesome having Damien and Mark here today. Damien, what are do you have some kind of final thoughts or final tips or some final energy or enthusiasm to give these guys?
There's 3 types of people in the world. Those who like to watch things happen, those who like to make things happen, and those that say, what in the hell just happened? Which one are you?
Nice.
Yeah. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this. It was an honor having Damien on. I'm hoping we get to have him on again. And again, we're out here in Nevada right now, a state that, frankly, we were not planning on opening for a while, right? This state was not on our radar. It got on our radar because someone saw the opportunity, the leader of a $300 million team saw an opportunity to help out his agents, because this was a decision that he made based on the impact it was going to have for the 60 agents that were on his team and the other partners that he had who he also felt could benefit from this. Approached us, and the opportunity was big enough that we made an exception, right? We opened up a state we weren't planning on opening. So understand as well, if you're watching this and you're in a state that we're not in, we still want to talk to you because we will be in your state. Absolutely. If you're a big team leader out there in a state that we're not opening and you see this opportunity and it's like, hey, I've got a good broker, I've got a big team. Again, reach out to us because we want to meet you, because we may be in an opportunity where we can make something happen. The best way to get in touch with us, link down in the description box below. You can schedule a one-on-one private Zoom call with AJ and myself. If it's something that we want to get Damien involved on, we can do that as well. But we would love to connect with you. We'd love to learn more about, again, what it is that's important to you about this opportunity so that we can help explain it to you a little bit better, point you in the right direction of which route might be best for you, and really help you, again, get that clarity, growth, and success to take you to the next level, to build that long-term recurring residual revenue that can give you an exit strategy from real estate, and really just give you the freedom in your life that's really gonna have a massive impact. So super appreciate you guys watching. Link down in the description box below.
Real quick, y'all would be very blessed to partner with these men right here, because I'm just gonna tell you, these guys are leaders right here, and they're more than YouTubers, they're more than podcasters. These guys are truly men that that I am very grateful to be in business with. So you couldn't partner with two better people, with Mark and AJ. They're doing things at a very high level here. So consider them as your sponsor, because at the end of the day, it does matter who you partner with.
I got one last thing. Woo!
Guys, thank you so much for watching. We're going to see you on the next one. We hope to see you on a Zoom, and be well out there.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.